Batman has battled Superman in Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, and did I like it? I don't know. Hello everybody, welcome back to Drinks in a Movie. Chris Hamker here, talking about the event movie Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. Now this movie has been, people have been wanting this movie to be made for, I would say at least 15 years now. I mean, it's been talked about, it's been, thought about, it's been tried to be made. There was even fake posters in fictional works like 2007's I Am Legend. There's a poster in the destroyed New York where Will Smith was, hunting elk. Of Batman v Superman in there. So, this thing has been, pondered about in Hollywood for a long time, and it's finally here. Layered shots are pretty simple. So for the Superman shot, we're going to do blue curacao and grenadine. Really simple. Grenadine on the bottom. Always put the, syrupy, sugary stuff on the bottom because it sinks really quick. So, we'll start with about halfway up with the grenadine. And then with your spoon, alright, put your blue curacao, and then look at that. Really nice little divided shot, blue and red. Superman. Okay, and so for the Batman layered shot, you get a really dark liqueur. I'm using creme de cassis. It does have a little red tint to it, but I don't think you'll notice it at all. And limoncello for the top. So, start by pouring halfway up with your creme de cassis, really dark alcohol. And then take your spoon, add in the limoncello, and as you can kind of see here, you sort of get that little light tint at the top. If you don't see it, then just shut up and drink it. Okay, so we got our two shots here, your Superman and your Batman layered shot, and last thing, I'm going to make an actual drink called Kryptonite, because you have to have something. You have to have Batman's weapon and Superman's, weakness. So, you take regular rum, pour in, I don't know, about halfway. Pineapple juice. Get your pineapple juice in there. You add in your lemon liqueur, melon, not lemon, melon. Look at that nice green tint it's getting. And because you want it to be strong enough to heat Superman, a little bit of Bacardi at the top. 151. Boom. There you go. And there is your Kryptonite. Oh my God, Batman, how dare you put this giant glass of Kryptonite right in my face? You're a god that needs to be stopped. Yeah, but Jesus, how could you? It's rough. And if you guys are thinking, is he actually talking for these shots? Yes, he is. You're not imagining it. Quiet, you two. You guys have fought long enough. Cheers, everybody. Batman. Oh, wait, I'll tell you what. Since Kryptonite's here, we're going to drink Superman first. Superman. Batman's getting a drink second. Cheers by some Kryptonite. Alright everybody, it's finally here. Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, directed by Zack Snyder, written by Chris Terrio and David Goyer. Yep, that's right everybody, Zack Snyder did not write this movie, and so I had high hopes for it. He wrote and directed Sucker Punch, which was terrible. Wrote and directed Watchmen, which I liked, but, it was very divisive. Some people actually hated it. Some people walked out of that movie. So this time I was very hopeful. Did I like it? It was okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is the good. Ben Affleck as Batman. He was amazing. He brought this smoldering intensity to the role that that was very engaging. I mean, and this Batman this time around does not take any shit. I mean, I think this Batman is more like Frank Miller Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. He's gone through some shit and he doesn't pull punches anymore. Batman kills some people in this thing. If that bothers you, if that's something you want, you know, you don't want the character to do, then you might have a problem with the movie. But I think Ben Affleck might be my favorite Batman, close to Michael Keaton, which Michael Keaton's Batman also killed some people. I mean, he was not, you know, the one rule Batman that we had with Christian Bale and the Nolan Batman. This Batman was very like I'm tired of all the shit and now I'm just gonna take people down, kind of like Marvel's The Punisher. I mean, he was ruthless, he was vicious. I mean, he got the job done. So the other thing I liked was Jeremy Irons as Alfred. I mean, Jeremy Irons always brings a gravitas to his movies that that is sometimes sorely needed, just like in this. Alfred this time is more than just Bruce Wayne's butler and, you know, angel on his shoulder like Michael Caine was in the Nolan movies. He's also his gadget and his mechanic man. He's like Lucius Fox and Alfred all combined into one. I mean, he was always building something in this movie. He was always tinkering, always doing something, which I found very interesting. And Jeremy Irons, man, he's just a cool actor. I mean, he's just very, you know, calm and collected, and I really love Jeremy Irons in this. So yeah, here's to you, Jeremy. So another thing I really liked about this movie was the fight. I mean, the movie is called Batman v Superman, and the fight does not disappoint. It again calls back to Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, and it's very much like that. I mean, like a live action version of that. I mean, you got Batman in the armor, fighting Superman, and it's a great fight. I mean, it's very visceral. There's some great moments in it. You know, Batman has some great lines, and they did a great job with that. I gotta say, this movie isn't all bad. It just could be so much better. The movie looks great. I mean, the effects were top notch. They didn't disappoint at all. Zack Snyder's movies always look great. It's just this the plot is where it gets, you know, kind of messed up. But I mean, it does look amazing, and I appreciate it for that. Another thing I really liked about this movie was Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. She's in there very briefly, but she really lives up to the way Wonder Woman should be. I mean, she's strong, she's powerful, she's smart, she's beautiful, and she does a great job. I gotta say, her little part in it did not disappoint. It was one of the moments where the audience really cheered, and I thought she did a great job. All right, so now it's time to talk about the bad. You knew it was coming. Now, the bad, what this movie tried to do was fit too much into one movie. It had the same problem as the Avengers Age of Ultron did by trying to set up further movies. Never ever try to do that. Age of Ultron had that same problem, and they had 9 other movies prior to that to set all their characters up. This had one movie. It had Man of Steel. It had one Superman movie. They had, in this movie, a new Batman, a new Wonder Woman, and guess what? We're doing Justice League, so let's throw in a couple more characters with little cameos, just to tell the audience that there's going to be more. So stay tuned. Don't ever do that, because it makes everything too convoluted. There are too many side stories going on without a common thread, so it just didn't work as one complete movie. It worked as like snippets of different movies trying to be crammed into one, and it just failed miserably. So what else didn't work was Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. It was a total miscast. I mean, Jesse Eisenberg brought this kind of strange sort of quirkiness to the Lex Luthor character that I didn't think should be there. He reminded me a little bit too much of like a Joker or Riddler character. Lex Luthor should be calm, collective, calculating. You know, this guy is supposed to be the greatest criminal mind of all time. Remember Gene Hackman saying that over and over again. And Eisenberg just made it almost cartoony and a little unhinged and a little crazy and kind of awkward. And Lex Luthor isn't that. He's on top of everything at all times, and he might be crazy in sort of a sociopathical way, you know, where he doesn't, you know, care about people and emotions, but he's definitely not awkward. He's always just like right on top of things, and nobody takes him by surprise. And the choices he made and the casting of this was just all wrong. So the other thing I didn't like was useless storylines. The movie's almost 2.5 hours. I think it is 2.5 hours, and it did not need to bog itself down with useless storylines, multiple vision/dream sequences, and trying to make Lois Lane a little more relevant. And this time around, she had her bit in Man of Steel. She doesn't need to be front and center. It's like they said, well, we have Oscar nominee Amy Adams. We have to use her. I mean, no, you don't. I mean, her storyline was just totally useless and didn't make any sense. And so it just bogged down the story even more. And it just was not necessary. Okay, so to sum up, I mean, there's some great moments in this movie. It is a big screen movie. I mean, there's some large stuff in it, but it doesn't have a lot of action in it, which I was surprised about. You're kind of waiting around for about an hour for something to happen. So I'm just going to get right to it. I'm going to give this 2 out of 5 drinks. It's the great stuff. It does not overweigh the mess of a movie that it is. I mean, and it is a mess of a movie. Really, the only thing to really see this movie for is Ben Affleck's Batman, and he has an amazing scene close to the end of the movie, and that in and of itself is almost enough to see it. But you'd have to really like Batman and have you know, some spare 2.5 hours to spend with this thing. That is kind of a mess. So 2 out of 5 drinks, a little disappointing. I was hoping for better from Zack Snyder, but didn't get it. So thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you think of the movie, because I think a lot of people are going to see it. So please, in the comments, let me know what you think. What's your favorite Superman movie? What's your favorite Batman movie? I mean, or who's your favorite Batman? I mean, I think this is going to be one of my favorites, and I'm looking forward to Ben Affleck doing his own Batman movie. I think that's going to be really great and really kind of an intense movie, so I hope that happens. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. Cheers, everybody. Have a drink on me. Good night.